I'm working from home today, so that's how I get to come on here and run my mouth and say what I want to
Yeah,
say.
I was listening to y'all chatting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was
Yeah,
dropping
he
those
definitely
jewels.
needs
I'm
to.
like, when can I? She need to be on a panel.
He definitely needs to go and rewatch. Even I had went back and rewatched it because I missed
That's
like
what I'm saying. He told me he got the last 30.
The first 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and I went back and I was like, let me go listen again.
Yeah. And what she was saying, there's a lot of truth to what she's saying. And, you have some people that say, well, why can't we just, get along and try to make friends? I'm like, when we've tried to do that, and that is never a good outcome. We've tried that. That's never, because I tell people all the time, it's hard to make friends with women of other races, and it just is for us. It's not as easy as other races. Like, other races can make friends, with each other. But it's something about us, it's not going to happen. And I see it all the time.
Like, I've made friends with them, like, all kinds of different people, but I would say, like, the genuineness of the friendship isn't really there, like, compared to, when I'm, a friendship with a sister, certain sisters.
Right.
So, but that's just my, how I see it and, what I've experienced.
It's a certain dynamic that's not going to be there.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I have friends like not at work, 'cause I don't really like nobody at work, but like at my But what I'm saying is, I mean, I have black friends at work. I just don't have any white friends at work. That's what I'm saying. I don't have any white.
Anyway, you do not need to make friends with them anyway.
I just don't. And see, and
if
when
you
I
don't,
go to church,
want to,
I have.
Let me say that.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Because I kind of know. I mean, to me, we at work, so you have to treat me a certain way because we're at work.
Not necessarily.
And keep it cordial. Well, then in me, they got to treat me a certain way because they won't have no job messing around with me.
Well, child, I don't, like me, that's why I can't really, I don't follow the rules. Remember I told you I had that issue with my manager, where he wanted me to, come to work and speak to him. He called me in the office because he didn't like my afro. I guess he wanted me to get a perm. He wanted me to get a relaxer.
I'm not getting no perm. So. No, I'm not. They cause cancer. So you want me to get cancer? Ovarian cancer and all that?
They don't care. They're brainwashed. They're brainwashed. They've been brainwashed to think that, oh, this is how black women are. All like, I remember, like, somebody had said, like, oh, like why are you wearing your hair like that? Like that, like black women don't do that anymore. Like that was so 70s. Like she said to this woman, like, you need to perm your hair. That's so old school. Like she said that, like, and she's a hairstylist. So you're a hairstylist. You deal with black women who already have a lot of, self-esteem issues. Some of our women have a lot of self-esteem issues. Not all of them, but some of them do.
Yeah, but
so why would you say something like that? Why would you say that? Oh, the thing that grows out of your head naturally. Why would you say that you need to put a chemical on it and that this look is so old school? No, that's their natural look. They're not trying to, to fit this facade, what this media says that black women should be. No, we just are. We are who we are. We are naturally who we are. Like, it's just so much I could go on and on about, but it blows my mind the way that some black people hate themselves so much. And some of them don't even see it. They hate themselves. And if they don't hate themselves per se, they hate themselves via the way that they treat other people who look like them, their own brothers and sisters or their own cousins. Just like Sister Mika was saying, like some people it's F you, whatever, it's F you, they're worried about themselves, just worried about themselves. And, we really have to really start looking at that, just really taking that in and thinking about that. Like, why is it that we can't even, help our own people? Because when I see other black people, or especially black children, most of the time I see that black child is, that's my child, or, my sibling or whatever. I have an emotional connection with black people. That's just the way that I see it. Some of us, we don't have the best attitudes or whatever, but I would never want something to happen to my brother or my sister. And it's just like some of us, like, we're so sick. Like, it's like we have this like internal like hate for each other, and just the way that we are, our energy, our heart, our spirit is just, it's so terrible. Like the way that some of these people can just like kill, like shoot, their family members down, or just people in their neighborhood, throwing your child in the canal, where your child ends up in the mouth of an alligator. Like, who does this kind of stuff? Like, and like Sister Mika was saying, like, there's something on us. And people want to say, oh, it's nothing, we don't have this. No, it may not necessarily be that. It's not like a group of people, I want to say a group of people didn't gather and say, hey, we're going to do this to them and whatever, but technically and literally, some of them do. They gather around and do this shit, whether people believe it or not. They get around and worship and sacrifice, black children and even white children, and the things that they do, the pedophilia, all of this. These are all like spiritual sacrifices that they're doing, and they're feeding off of our energy. It's like the rabbit hole goes so deep, and it's just like every day just waking up sometimes in this matrix is just, it's like a toll just being here.
Yeah. And my thing is, since we're talking about self-hate and everything with some black people, why is it that you get some of these guys, and this is not all black men, you got some black men that really appreciate black beauty, natural black beauty, and I love that about them. But what I've noticed is a lot of them will preach that they want a natural woman. They don't want the weave. They don't want the eyelashes. They don't want all the makeup, blah, blah, blah. But what they're not telling you, they want a certain type of natural black woman. They'll tell you they want someone natural. They like black beauty, but they want a certain type. Have you noticed that in these YouTube streets?
I noticed that, but one thing that I do think, though, is that a lot of black women don't give themselves credit. Some of us don't give ourselves credit enough, because I had to, that's one thing. I had to, really look within myself and certain things, and just like how you were speaking on, going back natural, and how that was a big thing in our community for a while, like going back natural. And I just remember, when I was going back natural, it was weird for me. Like I said, when I cut my hair, like, I didn't feel confident. My hair, first of all, some black women have this thing where their hair has to be long. And it's, I don't really know if it is, the magazines and I guess for me, at that area, it was also.
That's a compensation.
At that time, also growing up, the music videos were really popular, like in the 90s and the early 2000s. That's when people really like invested in their music videos, because, like Lance said, people would run home to get on the computer and email each other or check an email or whatever. We would go home and run to go watch, 106 in Park. And, when you see these things, most of the time, after a while, it was getting to be, women who have long curly hair and, who have this certain type of look. And, this has changed, throughout time. And when you realize that, you're sort of adapting your values to them, because let's face it, a lot of our women, we wear our hair in certain textures. Not all of us, like textures that we do not have. I'll say that. Not necessarily textures of other ethnicities or races or cultures, whatever, or the races, really. But because some of our women, we have different texture hair, 3B, whatever they want to call it, the looser pattern. And then some of us have the Afro texture hair, like I do. And we have to learn to really love our own hair. Our own hair, be able to wear our hair proud and know how to style our hair, know how to grow and nurture our hair, what type of oils and creams that we can use to grow our hair. So that way we don't have to, do our hair like that. And if we do want to grow our hair long, we can grow our own hair long. And if we want to, blow it out every now and then and wear it straight, we can blow it out and we can do it with our own hair. It goes so deep. And, I'm saying this as, coming from the cosmetologist perspective, so I love beauty, I love that. But then again, we have to look into that, because I was having my hair so short. It's it was weird to me and it's natural. So, when I went to the bank, this lady was God must have told her to tell me that, because, or it was what it was. But her telling me that was it really touched me, because I was oh my God, I never wore my hair like this before. My hair's never been this short before. I usually do other styles with it. So for someone to tell me that I look beautiful, it made me, a little bit more confident in myself. Not to say that I didn't have any confidence, but it was me being vulnerable and not, just chopping off all your hair. The big chop is a big thing. I don't really think that, some people eat, just like when women get, might go through chemotherapy and stuff like that, and them losing their hair and stuff. It's a drastic change. It's not how you always see yourself every day. So, we have to really get back to that and just love your own hair. Love who you are. We don't have to be looking like anybody else, and that's what makes us different. And when your black son sees that you love yourself and that you accept your hair and that you style your hair in this way, and that, this is what is black, this is what a black woman looks like, they will more so accept that. A man is going to respect women the way that he is taught to respect women. If we don't teach our children to respect black women and to love and protect black women and give them a reason to, for, teaching our daughters and stuff how to be, real women, how to make smart decisions and to care for ourselves and value ourselves, they're never going to have that. So it all, like I always say, it really starts with them, being young, and us, making those decisions to do these things for them, just changing our mind, our thought process. We have to do that for them. I know that's how I was too when I had worked at Wawa. I'm telling you, I was making people sandwiches, baby, and I had my little speakers in. I told Lance too, I don't know if he remembers that, I would always have my little Bluetooth in. And sometimes if I didn't have my Bluetooth, I didn't care. I would put my phone on speaker and I would I would blast it. And it would be people talking about the craziest stuff. How, it would be Kay and Lance going in on certain things.
Oh yeah.
And, they would be going in on certain things, and I would just let it play. And people would be hearing it, and they would be looking at me, and I would just be making salads, and I'm smiling, making quesadillas, and I'm just looking at them, going on about my merry way, smiling, working, listening, and they just looking, and nobody ever said anything. Nobody ever said anything, but baby, I would always be listening, always.
And with us having to embrace ourselves, I mean, I've been natural since 2010, so I'm kind of over that. I need long hair, but I think the needing long hair is in the beginning, I look at it as a way of compensating, having the short hair. Because I know a lot of females that I've come across, they were like, my hair is short. My hair is so short now. If it was a little bit longer, I'd feel better, or I would, do this, I would do that. And I would hear a lot of females say, if it was longer, then I could do this and I could do that. And they would try to get their natural hair to act like their relaxed hair. And I tell them, I'm like, no, you can't go natural with that mindset, because your natural hair is not going to do what your relaxed hair has done. It's just not going to do that. You have to learn to find out. You have to literally find out what you like about your natural hair, how you want it to look, and what's best for it. That's what you have to find out, because it's not relaxed hair. It's not gonna behave the same way. It's not gonna even grow the same way your relaxed hair grew. So no, you're changing up everything. And once I got that, once I understood that, once I figured out how I could style my hair, once I figured out what my hair liked, the products and everything, I was fine. But it's just getting over that stage of especially if you do the big chop. Especially if you do the big chop. But me, I grew mine out. It took me a year to grow it out long enough to where I felt like I could style it. Because if it's too short, like I already couldn't have do hair. Like even when it was relaxed, I still couldn't have do hair. So I'm like, I need my hair long enough for me to style it the way I see on some of these YouTube videos. So that's exactly what I did. But like I said, once they get over the hurdle of how to style their hair, what products to use, and what their hair will actually do, I think they get over that. But some women, like it took me a year. I was in that stage for a year. Some women it takes longer. It just depends.
Yeah, I chopped mine all the way off, but I had actually I learned to accept myself, and I actually started loving myself with my hair short like that, because I wore it like short, brush cut short, for almost on and off like 5 to 8 years or so, back and forth. I would like chop it off and grow it back and do all kind of stuff to it.
Now, the reason why I won't do real short hair or brush cut, because my head is shaped funny, and that's like the only reason why.
Yeah, I have a little peanut head.
Yeah, you can get away with, if you have a small head, you can get away with brush cuts and, bald head. But if you got a big head like me, you need hair. I need hair, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Yes, I need hair. That's all right.
Yeah. It was different, but it was something to get used to. And like I said, it makes you just accept yourself for, who you are. It's not something that you actually, like this physical thing. It's actually a figment of your imagination, because, it can instantly change and be short. It could be longer. It's really just a figment of our imagination. Say reality, quote unquote reality, but just even like I was speaking to someone, and I don't know if they were upset at what I said, but I was speaking of how like being depressed, like depression is really, it's also something that's kind of like a figment of our imagination. It's really not there. I mean, it's there, like there's certain circumstances and things that occur in our lives that might make us feel this emotion. But at the end of the day, it's an emotion, and we choose to feel that emotion. We choose to live in it. We choose to, I chose to live in it. I chose to live in it for a long time. And I told the person, I'm like, there was times where I was depressed, and no one ever knew. No one ever knew when I was depressed, but I was miserable. People would see that, my weight was going up and down, up, up. And, it's just, you start to not care for yourself. You start to, it's certain things that you normally would do. You don't do them. You don't do your hair. You might not shower all the time. You might not keep up with your home. And, these are things that just start to manifest because, you're living in this vibration. And you don't understand, because you're letting yourself suffer and live in that pain, that feeling that you're feeling. You're allowing yourself to sit in it. I don't know if that's really a harsh way to say it, because like I said, I know how it feels to have been, in depression. I've been there several times. But I had to like remove myself from it, because no one was coming to come save me. People didn't even really know that I was depressed. Or, sometimes we might show our depression in a different way. We might show it through anger, or, not speaking or separating ourselves from people. Everybody shows, certain qualities or certain feelings, certain things that they're going through. They're going to show signs and symptoms in different ways, and we might not know how to deal with those things. So, I strongly believe that this is just an illusion that we're living in, and it takes us to be like, I am not going to live in this anymore. It took
Right.
like when I was losing weight, I gained the weight because I didn't care. You know, there was so much stuff that was going on that I started to not care about what I was eating or, you know, exercising, getting up and doing things. You know, I didn't care. So the weight started packing on. And then you get to this weight and you're just like, oh my God, you know, working out is a chore to you. And then you say to yourself, how did I get this big? And then you start doing the work and you're like, dang, like this is going to take forever. You know, those are some of the things that start to play into your mind. And once you start to realize, like, no, I can do this. You know, I need to change, you know, my diet, and this is some of the things that I need to change to get to where I want to be. And then you start to lose the weight. And this is the same thing with depression. It's the same thing with everything in life. We have to make the decision to change the circumstances that we are in and continue to try to move forward to where you want to go. Because nobody's going to come in, and nobody came to get me. That's just all I'm saying. So,
well, no,
you know.
and no one's going to, especially with the weight thing. No one can lose weight for you. It's hard. Some of these things to better yourself, it is hard. Whether you working on losing weight, whether you're trying to learn a new skill or anything, it's hard, and no one's going to do it for you. So, oh, somebody has a chicken.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I thought that was you. I had muted myself because I was like, where's that coming from?
Somebody upset the chicken. Either somebody upset the chicken or they trying to catch him and eat him. I don't know what's going on. Oh, goodness. But, yeah, a lot of points she was hitting today.
Tracey, do you hear the chickens now?
No chickens in genre.
Do you hear? Sorry. I muted it. I don't know how you heard it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so funny.
There's so many of them. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just going to stay on mute.
That's funny. That is funny. But welcome to the call. Funny. Oh, gosh. But, yeah, she was hitting on so many points in the call today, and that's why, you know, I really, really like when she goes on and she just kind of flows in her own way, because she touched so many points. Like the things that I think about often, she like touches on every last one of them.
And let me tell you, Tracey, and everybody and anybody who's listening to this, it really upset me when Sister Miko said that she was calling that baby a black, that she was calling her a bitch. And, you know, we don't see anything wrong with that, because we're like, oh, she was probably just saying, oh, this bitch need to hurry up and come. But no, you're literally calling your black daughter a bitch. She's not even here yet, and you're calling her that. So think about how
she hears that. She hears that too. Even though you're about to, babies can hear at that point. She's about to have the baby. The baby can hear you.
Exactly. So you're putting all that, just like Sister Miko said. That's why she's not coming. That's why she is, you know, giving you, you know, all this hurt and this pain, because of what the energy that you're giving her. You know, just like when I was having my son, you know, they were like, oh, the baby's not hungry, and da-da-da. That's why I'm like so cautious when I go to the hospital, because a lot of these people, you know, I respect doctors, you know, I respect Sister Miko and her profession, and, you know, I wanted to be a nurse midwife too. You know, that's what I really wanted to do. So that's why I kind of really even resonate with her, you know, a little bit more. But, you know, when I was having my son, I didn't eat the whole day, and I came to the hospital and it was like 5:00 in the evening. So of course my baby's not hungry. He hasn't eaten for almost 12 hours. And then you come and you tell me that I can't eat anything, I can't drink anything, I can't have anything, and you're plugging me up and doing all these things to me. Of course the baby is not happy, you know? And it's just so much, So I just really feel like, just like Mixed Genre always says, like, we really need to have our own everything. We have scientists, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, we have so many different things. We need to have our own. I'm not saying for us to, all of us to completely withdraw from society. That's not something that's possible. But we need to. And I don't know who was talking about it. I don't know if it was somebody was talking about it earlier. But man, we need. Yes, Sister Miko said it in the call. We need to have, like, she said she saw us doing little satellites, like all of us were meeting up or something, and we were like doing a ritual or something like that. No, the sound bowls. That's what she said. We were doing the sound bowls together, and I think she was saying we were in white or something like that, but she was saying it was a group of us. And we need to have our own satellite communities where we have our own everything. We have our own everything in South Florida, or South Carolina, in Ghana, wherever. We need to have our own satellite communities where we have our own everything. And we know that when we travel, we can go here, we can go there, we can stay there, we can go to Ghana and go this where, or go to this place. We need to have our own everything, our own school, our own everything. We really need to get back to being with each other. And, our people can still, some of our people who are going to stay here, they're going to stay here. And we know that, everything ain't going to be, bad. It takes time, change. Everything that happened to us took a long time to happen to us. It took a long time for us to get to where we are. So it's going to take a long time for things to change. And while things are changing, you think our people who are here in America, who choose to stay here in the States, you don't think they're going to elevate? You don't think there's going to be some of them that are in, those areas making decisions and doing things here in America for our people? No, they're going to do that. They're doing it now,
Yeah.
I really wish that for us. Our own everything. Own school, our own curriculum for our children, teaching them about, like, art and stuff, our own history, teaching them about technology, and teaching them about the importance of melanin. That's the difference. I feel like when we separate ourselves, there's just certain things that we don't correlate with when it comes to them. It's not. The melanin is so important, and they try to make it seem like it's not important, but they're after it though, right? They're after it. They're drinking the blood. They're doing Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
They're doing all kinds of stuff with the blood and the melanin and these organs and stuff like that. So, we have so much. I want to say we have so much potential. We because I know that things are going to change and that things are changing. It just takes us to realize this and to keep putting our foot forward.
True. I'm thinking about this.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that, like, I went to back when I was in Arizona, I went to this event. It's like a two black ladies. One was a realtor, the other one was like a psychologist. And she had her own, office and everything. But when we went to this thing, it was all just black women, and she passed out she passed out papers, and then we were all supposed to write 5 things we liked about ourselves. And I sat there, I couldn't even write one thing I liked about myself. I literally, I was thinking, I was trying to maybe remember. It was so shocking to me because it made me self-aware. Like, all this time, there's literally nothing I like about myself, And it's not like a lot of things we're not even aware of, but that really kind of, it really made me aware, self-aware, And then everybody. So after that, she came around and she was looking at everybody's paper, and mine was blank, and other people's papers were blank too. And it's like, when she saw that, she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, she told me when I walked in the room, the first thing she thought about was my complexion. It was like even tone, and she, that was what caught her eye. And then other people were talking about my smile, and then sometimes she would have us, if we were okay with it, she would have us stand in front of the room, right? And all the other ladies will compliment what stands out to them, And that was a really interesting, like, little event that it just really opened my eyes to, like, how I felt about myself. And there was this other time too, still in Arizona, back in like 2018. I went to a grocery store. I cut my hair off. I cut everything off, and I was just rocking my natural hair. And when I stood in the line to check out, this black woman was standing in front of me. She turned around and she saw me, and she immediately turned back. It was almost like she was ashamed. She couldn't stand to see my hair short. Like, she couldn't stand to see my natural hair because she had on a wig. And when she turned around, she saw her eyes. She saw my hair. Immediately, she turned back around. It was like a taboo, like, for me to just be there rocking my natural hair. So it could be a psychological thing too with us. It could be programming, And I feel like if, like, even with the kids too, with the young kids and everything else, if we can, like, present something to them, like, have them list maybe 2 things they like about themselves, like, we can start the process of helping them, appreciate every part of who they, every part of themselves, every part of who they are, because our hair and everything else was passed on from our ancestors, So if you don't like yourself, then you don't like the ones who came before you. That's just my opinion, but I could be wrong.
No, you're definitely right. You're actually hitting on a lot of points, and you're clarifying, and you're verifying everything that I said earlier. And even something that I dealt with is that some of us, we deal with these issues where we don't. Some of us, I'm not saying you didn't like your hair, but she didn't like your hair. Just like the hairstylist that was like, oh, that's so old school. Like, nobody wears afros anymore. Like, what do you mean nobody wears afros anymore? So nobody wears their real hair anymore? Is that what you're saying? It's just very strange to me, like, some of the things that, Black women, these narratives that they accept. It's very strange.
I wanted to touch on something that you said earlier, Masterglamm. You were saying that us Black women, if we embraced our beauty more and kind of appreciate what God gave us, especially when we're raising sons and daughters, they'll look at us and say, hey, mommy's pretty, look at her hair, blah, 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 instead of always being in this wig and lashes and makeup in front of our son, then get mad at them when they don't choose women that look like us.
Exactly, because one thing that Black men have said is, why would some Black men, not all Black men have said this, but I've heard some Black men say, why would I get a girl who's wearing a curly, long curly weave and wearing all this makeup looking like this when I can get the real thing? They can get them a real Dominican with the long curly hair. They can get them a real Puerto Rican with the baby edges. Not to say that all Black women don't have that hair texture, but we know that a lot more of those women have those hair textures. And some of us try to emulate this look. And even when we wear it, there's even this trending sound that there's this man, I think he's a Shem, and Shem is like, oh yeah, I look Puerto Rican in this hair, and so all the girls, when they doing their lace front videos and they lace closure videos and they doing their baby hair, they use that sound effect. So we all know that this is something that is said, that these are the type of women that have these type of hair textures. And so this is some of what we try to emulate. Not that all of them aren't Black, some of them are Black. They're Black Latinas, some of them do got the curly hair, but like I said earlier, it's about just accepting what you have. Not saying that, oh, we trying to be this and we trying to be this. No, but because some of us Black women have different hair textures. And if we just accept what we have, nothing wrong with, rocking a different style every now and then. But when you don't know how you look, how you naturally look, when you don't accept how you naturally look, when how you naturally look to you is so-called a mess, you can't be seen like this. Your man can't see you like this. Your kids can't see you like this. People can't see you how you naturally are. It's a problem.
That's partially our fault, though, as women that do that. That's our fault. Every time you walk out the house, you got all this stuff on, and then you got an attitude with somebody when they don't accept how you really look, when you should have presented yourself better. You should have presented your natural self in the best. You should have presented the best version of your natural self instead of putting all this stuff on. Now you're mad because, oh, he doesn't accept the real me. You never showed him the real me. You kind of fooled him into thinking that the fake you was the real you. You presented him with a representative, and now he doesn't like your reality, and you're mad.
That's so true. Yep. And if we would just find people and accept men who appreciate us for who we are and actually marry for, values instead of, like they was talking about, instead of sport fucking, things will be a lot different. And then once you realize that you've been sport fucking and created a child or children from sport fucking, you need to redeem yourself and redeem your children. You still have time. As long as you're breathing, there's still time. Don't let nobody, tell your fate. Don't let nobody tell you that, this is what you're going to become because, this happened to you. No, we know that people defy the quote unquote odds all the time. So, do what's best for you. Why wouldn't, like I always say, why wouldn't you want the best for yourself? All we have to do is get out there and put forth the effort, and if something is for us, if we're putting out the right energy to attract these certain type of things, we're going to attract them.
Correct. But I know a lot of women, like I just described, they wear all this stuff and wonder why their sons are messed up. He brought home a white girl and he kept showing him that white girl hair.
Mm-hmm.
Kept taking
so he went and got the real thing.
Yeah, he went and got the real thing. And then let's talk about the makeup for a minute. Some of y'all have problems with your skin.
Baby.
Number one, you don't even have a skincare regimen. I see why you feel like you got to have on all that makeup. You won't even drink more water and get a skincare regimen. Eat better. You'll have better skin. That's the first issue. The second issue is this. Why are you trying to lighten your skin, sweetheart?
Girl.
Don't you
and I'm
know
tired of seeing
that
them. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tracey, but I'm tired of you seeing them. I'm tired of seeing them with the lip fillers. I'm tired of seeing them with them big ass, fake ass, ugly ass lips. They look fake. You look like
a cartoon character.
You look like Donatella Versace. You look like a black Donna. Just stop. You look a mess. Go ahead, Tracey. Go in on them. Go in. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. You have this light face, but this black neck. Sweetheart, if you took care of your skin, drunk water, and got a good skincare regimen, and probably got a facial every now and again, you won't have to worry about changing the tone of your skin because your skin will be so bright. You won't have to worry about trying to be lighter. That's the trick. If you had good skin, you wouldn't worry about trying to be lighter. What is wrong with you? We know you're not that light. And then you're going to put a foam filter on top of that. Then you apply the light makeup, and then you're going to put the filter on top of that. And then when we meet you in person, you like 5 shades darker.
Girl, just like this one lady, like, she's brown skin, probably like my complexion.
Yeah, and there ain't nothing wrong being brown or dark skin. Nothing wrong with none of them.
No, Tracey. But she had on some gray contacts. Like a smoky gray blue contact, and I'm like, girl, you look like Storm. You look like a monster. Like you look like a character. But she has a whole husband. She has a whole husband, and she got children. So her man loves it. He loves it. I love it. He loves it. I love it.
The kids not gonna come out. The kids not gonna come out like that.
Of course
they don't lie. DNA don't lie.
Oh my God.
What do they think they're doing when they change?
That's why I told you I struggle with the makeup. I struggle with the makeup.
Change all this. Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because the baby want to talk too. So.
Oh, hello, honey. Okay, but anyway. No, but why do they do that? Why do they go in here and they try to change their hair texture, eye color? Honey, your genes are still your genes. Your child is still going to come out looking like you originally looked. I don't care what you change. And then you got them out here because you got the filters on social media. They also do the eye filters too that change the color of your eyes. And so now when you do a video, you got these men and these other people thinking you look this way, but you don't never want to meet nobody in person because you don't want them to know how you really look. Everybody is that same. You know that filter, that light brown. Every black woman is that same. There's no way, because I'm seeing too many of these TikTok videos and too many of these YouTube videos. Everybody's the same complexion. Everybody's not that complexion.
Yeah, because it's a filter. It's a filter where it like lightens the skin. It kind of makes your skin look like it's super smooth and made up. And see, that's the thing. That's why I had to pull away from makeup. That's what I was talking to Mixedgenre about. I don't know if I was talking to you about it as well, but like women have this unrealistic expectation of how they should look. And, you know, I do makeup a certain type of way, and I don't do the whole mask look. You know, I don't pile on loads of makeup. You know, I want you to look like how you look. I just want to enhance what you look like. You know, if your brows need to be shaped up a little bit more, and I know that sculpting it and highlighting it and contouring it this way will make it, you know, stand out more and make it look nicer, then yes, I'll do that. I'll enhance your brow. If I know that, you know, you have some dark marks and, you know, I can color correct it and put some foundation on it to even out your complexion, to even out your complexion, then
but
yes,
I'm not
I do that.
You.
Yeah. You know, you can lighten up your
lighter.
under eye a little bit. Lighten up your under eye a little bit. You know, do 2 shades, not 4 or 5 shades. You know, but that's just certain type of things that they like versus what I like. So that's why I don't too much do the makeup anymore, because, you know, my makeup is for a certain type of client, and those certain type of clients, they always tend to find their way to find me. So, you know, when I want to get back into that, I know that they'll find me, but it's not too many of them, because a lot of them have this expectation that they are supposed to look flawless and they don't want to see any pimples. But baby, you have a pimple. How can I make your pimple
but there's no such thing as flawless anything. There's no such thing as flawless skin. Everybody has imperfections in their skin. You're gonna have you can have the most perfect diet in the world and drink water every day, all day. You're still gonna have flaws in your skin.
Mhm.
Why don't people understand that? They want you to, you know, they want you to recreate the wheel. Like I'm not doing that. You probably had a lot of low self-esteem clients too.
And see, the thing is, it's not that they don't know that they might not feel like they have low self-esteem, you know, because like I said, a lot of my clients aren't like this, because like I would say a good at least 75% of my clients, 75 to 80%, I'll give them a better ratio than that. 75 to 80% of my clients, they are always women who they don't want all the extra makeup. They know that, like, I just want to, you know, touch me up, honey. Like, they're one of those women. Most of my clients, they take care of their skin. They got a regimen. You know, they do their little eye masks and stuff like that. You know, they're familiar with that type of stuff, and they care for themselves. So I do attract those type of clients, because those are the type of, you know, qualities and things that I service. But every now and then, you know, you find these women who, you know, they need a last minute makeup artist. You know, you might have been the one that's available, and, you know, they want you to beat them to the gods. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, I just do the best that I can, and I give them the best that I can, but they're just not my typical client. And, you know, I can't deal with women just having these unrealistic expectations, even with hair too, and then some of them,
don't let me on the hair.
They wonder why their edges are falling out. They haven't washed their hair in whenever. They come to you with their hair dirty. Like, women have literally done this to me. They come with their hair filthy, and they want their hair done. Yeah. What? And some of them, see, this is the thing. If you go to a hairstylist and you know that the hairstylist is a kitchen beautician, there's no sink there, and she already told you this, baby, you need to go home and wash your hair. And some of them, they don't even try. I know some women, they don't know how to wash their hair, and they would prefer the more professional touch. I hear it a lot. But some women, they don't try at all. I'm telling you, some of them have come to me. They literally just took off their quick weave, glue still on their edges. The glue is the gel is all over their hair. It's still in the ponytail. It's crusty. You gotta comb it out.
Oh,
this is how some women come. This is how some women come to get their hair done. And it's not all women, but some women, there are a small bit of small amount of women that come to stylists knowing that the stylist, doesn't have a sink available or whatever, and they will still come to you with their hair like this and still expect you to do their hair. They don't care about it being washed. They just want their hair to be done. There's a difference if you know that the hairstylist doesn't have a sink, or if you didn't know they have a sink and you're like, oh, I was expecting this. That's something different. But for the women who that this girl don't have a sink, she don't wash hair, and you don't care. You didn't wash your hair, you just took off your weave, and you're just like, okay, make me look good. No, that's filthy. And that's what we need to, we as human beings need to get down to. Everything starts with the way that we care for ourselves. And that's the same thing I was talking about depression and just everything. You have to care for yourself. You have to care for yourself more. And we can't care about these material things, these little trinkets, and how our weave looks, and what kind of car we're driving, what kind of outfit we're going to wear to the club this weekend. We need to care about different things. We need to care that we have a stockpile of food for our kids just in case anything happens, that our kids are going to be doing this activity and that they're going to be learning this, or that we're going to be traveling here and enjoying this day, spending time with each other. We need to do a lot more of those things. Not to say that Black people don't do it at all, but or people don't do it at all, but some of us are, especially from where I'm from, I'm just speaking on what I know. A lot of us are just focused on what we're gonna wear to the club, for the weekend. Because I used to live that when I was younger. I didn't really too much last too long in it, because that really wasn't my true nature. But I did live that life where I was at the club like every Saturday, planning on, how I was going to do my weave, how I was going to look, what was I going to wear, what kind of shoes that was my thought process. Am I going to have money to get in the club? I got to have money to buy a couple drinks. You know what I'm saying? That's how I used to think. This is how my friends used to think. This is how a lot of the people who are around me in my neighborhood, this is how they think. And like I said, I didn't last too long in there because honestly, I'm a person, I'm a little conservative with my money. And I didn't want to go to the club and pay $10 for a small cup of whatever when I can get the bottle for $10. I'm cheap, if you want to call it that. I'm not cheap, I'm cautious with my money. And I'm just not going to go get watered down drinks and, be in the club with people and people fighting and then, people sweating on you. And it's just, after a while, it's just not for you anymore. And after a while, it wasn't for me anymore. I enjoyed it while it lasted, but baby, that's not me anymore.
Yeah, as you get older, your mind changes about a lot of things. So, yeah. Yeah. But I just had to bring that up with the whole makeup thing and this whole unrealistic view of how you think you should look. Like, no, you need to look like you. Because I'm like, how you just trying to, you go on social media, you just kind of, scroll through different videos. I've just been noticing that almost every Black woman has the same, they put that same filter on. You know the filter I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one where they look light skinned. They look like they got their face highlighted and contoured. Their skin looks super smooth, and Yeah, I
And
know
then
that.
some of them have the nerve to put some of them have the nerve to put the different eye color on there too. I can tell that that's not your eye color. My goodness, seriously? But some of these women can be against though.
These are going to be the parents of children that go to school. So when their kids are at school, and if your kids don't have Jordans on, they're lame. Or these are the kids that go to school, and these are their parents. Not saying that's all of them, but maybe there's some of them. I've worked at the school. I hear them when they talk.
You wearing a pair of Jordans, but you in housing, and you don't have a vehicle.
Girl, there was one that was in third grade, girl. She didn't even know how to spell her name. I was shocked.
What?
I said, what do you mean you don't know your name? What do you mean? And I was like thinking like, okay, well, maybe she doesn't speak English. And I realized that she was Haitian. And so I spoke Creole to her. And she was telling me her nickname. And I was like, no, baby, you don't come to school and say your name is Shasha. Your name is Shasha at home. Okay? You have another real name, and you need to come to school and tell these folks your name.
Your legal name. The name that I need a name that's on your birth certificate. I need a name that's on a birth certificate. That's the name I need. I need a name that's on the birth certificate. Yeah.
And you see, people think that they just think that, oh, whatever. No, this stuff really happens, man. When I see these kids and when you talk to these kids, man, some of them you can just tell whose parents care about them and who don't care about them. Like, seriously. And it might sound like, oh, that's an ignorant thing to say, but no, baby. When you see children, and teachers will tell you this, other people who work in schools as well will tell you this. You can tell what children are cared for, well, and, whose parents are reading with them and, who's checking their homework. You can tell. Some of them come to school, girl, and they didn't even brush their teeth. They didn't even brush their teeth. And some of them, you would think that, oh, maybe they forgot. No, some of them just, no. We have to do better. We got to do better. I know certain times, things get away from us. Some of us might be dealing with issues, depression, abuse, or whatever. But we have to really be cautious, when we have these kids and, we're raising these kids and then, we send them out here to be in this world. And, when they're out here and they're alone, they're going to be learning and feeding off other children and the way that other people treat them and, the energy that they receive from other people, the way that other staff members view them, the way that they value them. I had a certain situation where, I'm about to get on my ish and start typing me up a letter and calling corporate for this company, because I had some food poisoning. And when I went there, the lady was very apologetic over the phone and stuff like that. But when she seen me in person, it was extremely brief. And, she gave me basically gave me a refund of, what I purchased. And I'm like, everything that I went through, you really can't understand. And there's really no monetary value that you could put on everything that I went through, but just the way that, people receive you, the way that people receive you, the energy that they give you, you can tell if someone really cares. People don't realize that everything that they do, whether they don't try to shake your hand or, they don't smile at you, or if they give you that disingenuous smile, all those things, like we're reading body language. You're speaking without really speaking. So these are the type of things that they do. So I'm always on the lookout for them, always on the lookout for everybody. Just read the energy, and we have to have our children, read the energy as well, because they go out and, these people are going to be their educators and stuff like that. And we have to protect them from ignorant people, which is again why I said we need to have our own everything, because some of these people, they're there and they're just there for a paycheck. They're not there to teach our children. They're not there to give them the nutritious foods that they really need inside the cafeteria. They send in our kids, whatever. Our kids don't even have condiments, and the other kids over there.
That plays a factor in behavior too. that plays
Yeah,
a factor in behavior and them learning too. So yeah,
people don't realize that as well. And I wanted to talk about that when I was at the last school advisory meeting. I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't want them to think that, because some people, it's like some things like skip their head, and I don't think that a lot of people know. Like, research has shown that all these dyes and stuff that are in the food, and the quality of food that the kids are getting, it shows and it affects the children and the way that they function, versus if a child has a fresh, nutritious meal. And our kids don't get that, but certain kids, they literally get it. They get it, and they get more, and they have plenty of other fresh options. And we just accept that that's what our children get, and it's not fair. We need to realize this. This is some things that they do. This is not jokes and things that Black people just say because they love to say that Black people love to complain. But no, this is a reality. These are things that I've seen and witnessed.
that is just sad. I can't believe that still goes on in the school. So I mean, I know it goes on, but I didn't know it was to that extent. I just thought, like me, I remember high school having those kids in class, and they were like 15, 16, 17. Still reading on the 3rd or 4th grade level, and all they did all their whole life, teachers just got tired of them. They just kept passing them because they didn't want to be bothered with them. They didn't want to bother with teaching them, the proper way to read or to write or any type of learning that's constructive to their future. Anything. They just, okay, I'm tired of you being in my class. I'm passing you.
Mhm. And that means they don't really care if the child really, really learns the material. The child might be struggling and, need some extra attention. They might need some extra help. They might need to learn a different way, and that's why I'm trying to educate myself on, children's different learning styles. And I have some things that that I dream of that I want to do, with children in our community, but I'm starting with my own child, because I can't do anything that I don't know. So I'm starting with my own child, and I realize that, the way that I, am is not the way that he is, He learns different. He is different. He enjoys different things. And I myself, as his mother, the woman that laid down and created him, I have to do what I have to do to raise him to be the best person that he could possibly be. I have to put in that effort for him to be that person, him and my daughter, So we just have to. We have to do it. And at the school, they don't always get that.
And they kind of know, the kids that have that, and I think that also creates the behavioral problems, because kids know when other kids are cared for and they're not, and it creates this like jealousy, like, okay, this person's getting this, why am I not getting that? Does anybody, care about my well-being?
Yeah, I'm back now, Tracey.
No, I was just saying, kids understand what creates some of the behavioral problems. Kids understand when they're not getting something that another child is getting. Like, they understand at an early age, okay, this person's getting this, that person's getting that. Okay, no one's doing this for me. Why isn't anyone doing this for me?
Yeah.
And I think that's the root cause of, by the time they get in junior high or high school, they're like, forget it, I'm not trying, because no one cared for me when I was growing up. No one did this for me. No one took out time for me, so why should I care? No one cares about me. Why should I care? Especially when you see that the child does not come from parents that really care that much about them being in school. And some parents don't even care about the child eating. Because I've heard some cases where the only time the child ate was when they went to school. And so I think they had, here in North Carolina, they had a thing where they were trying to take breakfast out of school, and some people fought it because they were like, The only time some of the kids eat is when they come to school for breakfast and lunch. They don't really get food at home.
Yeah, because in Florida they had this thing where in South Florida they had this thing where they would give the kids like a dinner to go home with. I think they were doing it for the summer because they knew that some of the kids, like you said, they only eat when they're at school. Some of them literally do. They only eat when they're at school. So, you know, whatever, because some kids, they will, whatever you put in front of them, baby, some of them will eat it. And they'll come back and they'll ask for seconds, especially if it's something, you know, it's a little good something. Some of them, they'll ask for more. And that's why we have to be cautious.
Are they allowed to get seconds? Because when I was going to school,
they're not
going back to get, oh, wow.
No, they're not. But see, that's why I loved being, even though I was, you know, some people might have just seen me as a cook, but that's why I loved being the cook. Because there were certain type of children, you know, that they want a little bit more. Man, these kids ain't gonna eat these sweet potato fries. So if another child want to come and they want to eat the sweet potato fries, I'm gonna give it to them. You know, if they want an extra chocolate milk, most of these kids don't want the chocolate milk anyway. You know, let them get the chocolate milk. Just let them have it. If another child want an extra juice, you know, like I said, a lot of the kids, some of them don't even drink juice. Some of them will only get a milk. Some of them will only get a juice. So if you got another child, you know, they want a milk, just give it to them. And this lady that was my supervisor, she had a hard time with that. You know, she had a hard time. She was one of those women. It's like, no, this is the rule. You know, this is the way it is. And I can't, that's why I have a hard time working for people. That's why I have that entrepreneurial spirit, because I'm sorry, I'm one of those people who I do things whatever, you know, the way that I think that it should be done. Even if, you know, the rules say this way, you know, even some certain things. And that's what honestly I think makes good customer service. It might not be the best thing all the time for the business, but you can make decisions that are, you know, smart, you know, without, you know, not being business savvy. But, you know, certain type of things, going the extra mile for your customer, you know, doing, you know, just a little extra, you know, some people will really value it. You know, you can't, you know, maybe always do it for everyone, but you just have to use your discretion. You know, sometimes like I said, there might be a child that needs an extra milk. They might need an extra juice. You know, they might want to go home with a juice. Just give it to them. And she just wouldn't do that sometimes. You know, she'll make a big deal out of it. Or if, you know, a child wanted a certain type of cereal and this is the cereal that was up there, but there's another cereal behind her, she wouldn't give it to him. And I'm just like, why are you even in this kind of environment? Because you clearly don't like your job. You say that you do. You say that you do. You pretend that you do, but you don't. Because you can't even get a kid an extra jelly because you're like, oh, they count them. We don't have enough. Well, then get on their ass and ask them for it. Get on your supervisor's ass and ask them for it. Like, you know, you do the extra mile. Like, if we could. There are certain things.
Why are they hoarding the food anyway? Like, I never understood that. Why are they hoarding the food like that?
Well, there was a shortage. I'm not gonna lie, because there were a lot of times the school that I worked at, there were certain things like the kids would have like pancakes but no syrup. They would have fries, no ketchup. And it's just certain type of things that we just wouldn't have. And it's just like, you know, biscuits, no jelly, you know, and we don't know, like the way that she claims that she would order them. And there was just a shortage from ever since COVID started, and a lot of the things were hard to get for the kids. But, you know, like we were discussing, sometimes these are the only meals that these kids get. And you know what I wanted to do one time was go to the store and just buy them a little jug of syrup and fill it up, because we had all these little souffle cups in the back, and I wanted to you know, just fill up the little cups and just give them to them. Whoever wanted syrup, if they asked for syrup, give it to them. But do you think she would allow it? No. She's the type of woman, she has to even control. She has to even control. Why are you putting bleach on the floor? Why are you putting bleach with the wash? No, only use the stick and span. What? Don't put a cap of bleach in with the dish detergent. It doesn't need it. What? Like, she's that type of person. And that's why I couldn't be around her.
Wow.
So, yeah, these are the type of people that are around our kids. And there was even one time I saw this lady put her, Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. My friend saw it, and she worked with me in the kitchen. And she said she like snatched this girl's shoulder back and like was telling her go, and the girl like grabbed her arm, her shoulder, and was like, ow. And so clearly, like, you really put your paws on her. Like, why would you put your hands on somebody's child? So yeah, like these are the type of people that are at the school, in the public school system, teaching your kids. And they pretend like they like kids, and oh yeah, I worked for the school for so many years. Yeah, I've been working here for that long, and I love my job. But they don't. They don't. They don't love their job.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy, and it's sad. They just can't eat nothing. No one cares about them learning nothing. That is just I'm just glad I'm not going to public school.
There was this one white lady who she taught fourth grade. Was it fourth grade or was those? No, that was fifth grade. She taught fifth grade. She was the first fifth grade class to always come in. And one day she was like, oh, like, because they have badges that you have to scan when they go to the line or whatever. And she was like, oh, he's so destructive. And this is, anybody could have said this and you would have probably been like, okay, but no, she treats her children like they're in the military. Like they have to come in, they have to be quiet, they have to stop right here until she walks up there, then they can start walking. Like she treats them like they're in the military. So one day she was like, the boy's badge wasn't working, and she was like, that's the third one that I've given him. He is so destructive. And man, she didn't see it, which I'm pretty sure she probably wouldn't even notice, but you could just see his spirit drop. His head dropped down, his eyes started looking down, and you could tell like she crushed his spirit. Like, why would you say that about somebody's child, that they're destructive? That's a big thing that you're saying. Not that, this is the third one I've given him. Not only do you say that, but you call him destructive. Especially since he was a boy. Oh yeah. Yeah. So and he's a black boy. He's a black boy. So yeah, he's destructive. Yeah. He's destructive. I told you I had to get down. I had to, squat down. I'm like 7-8 months pregnant. I had to squat down and talk to this boy so that he could go back to his class. Because he was having a showdown with his teacher. And I'm like, listen, I know that, you're upset right now, but you have to listen to your teacher. I know that, people probably, tell you all kinds of things about yourself, but I want you to know that you're a smart boy, you're intelligent, you're handsome, and that you're a good boy. You're not a bad boy. So go ahead and go to your class, listen to your teacher so she doesn't say those things about you, because that's not who you are. And, people don't take the time to think that, a kid hearing something as small as that, sometimes they need that. They might not get that at home, so they need that little encouragement instead of us always yelling at them and telling them to shut up all the time, Sometimes they do be loud and they need that discipline, but they also need the love too, and sometimes they don't get it.
And the programming starts early. The programming starts early in elementary.
Yep, this is the grade. This is the grade that I was when I was in two different counties, in a more predominantly white area and a predominantly black area. This is the grade, elementary. And you see a lot of different things. Even in the predominantly white school, you can see, whose parents yell at their kids a lot, whose parents is probably a bully or who probably have a bully sibling. You can see these type of things. You see it. So like I always say, it's not necessarily always about color, These kids are going through a lot.
And kids know who care about them too. They know who treat them well.
Yep, they sure do. That's why even I feel like children know from when they're babies, like when their spirit, when they see some people and then they cry and they're just like, get away from me. I feel like they. Okay, I don't know what you want, Mama. You don't want your bottle?
Y'all hear you on the phone, you talking.
The baby?
Yes.
Yeah, she just sitting here babbling. She don't want her bottle. She don't want to pacify. She just wants some attention. She don't want to talk to her. She want to talk to the people. Now she want to get down and roam around. That's what she want to do. She got down. She want to roam around. Oh yeah, but being a parent,
it's just I mean, and to me, it's heartbreaking because it's like I wish I could adopt all of them. I know I'm not allowed to. I wouldn't be allowed to, but still, they'll have a better chance with me than some of these parents out here, some of these teachers. I mean, I'm not a teacher, but I can do better than you. I do way better than you.
Mhm.
I wonder why they have behavior problems. I wonder why when they get to high school they want to shoot something up. Because look at the history. Look at how he's been treated or she's been treated over the years at school. Not getting enough to eat, not having a tutor, not having somebody take time to make sure they can read properly and understand certain words. All that stuff add up. All that stuff plays a factor, but everybody want to brush over that and just hone in on behavior. It's not always behavior. What are they eating? I mean, who's taking care of their mental health? The parents aren't because, they ain't getting nothing at home. Parents don't sit down and talk to them. They working.
Yep. And that's the main thing. That's one of the main things is that we really have to figure out a way where we could spend more time with our kids. That's why I was like, even though I really, my spirit, I always said that I don't want to work. When I have children, I want to stay with them and raise them and, maybe even homeschool them. And I was given that opportunity. It didn't come in the package that I expected it to come in, but I was given that opportunity. And, I just realized, I have to be grateful for that because, there's some kids, there was a long span of time where a lot of these kids in South Florida, they were being left behind on the bus, in vans and stuff, and they were dying in these hot cars and stuff. And I'm like, you see, like, just so
left
much.
Behind on the bus?
Left behind on the daycare van, and
how in the world do you leave? Oh gosh.
Yeah, because they didn't do their head count, and there was one. The child was like I think they just turned 1 year old or something like that. I remember this daycare. It was in Oakland Park, and he died in the hot sun. And where he was too, like where it was located, I know it had to be hot because I know specifically where that daycare was and where that van was, where they always position it. He was like in like probably like 1 o'clock, noon. Man, the sun was, especially like around 2 o'clock, the sun had to be just out and just blazing. So, because it really gets hot down here in Florida, especially if you're in a car and you're a child, you can't regulate your temperature as easily as an adult. That's a terrible way to lose your life.
That is I just never understood how can you have a child and just not and just forget about the child? Like, do you not? Babies make noise. They play. They just. How do you forget? But yeah, the school system, and like I said, if I could help it, if I ever end up having a child or adopting or whatever, I don't want my child at a public school. These public schools need to be shut down, some of them.
Yeah. And like I found out a couple of weeks ago, these Landon was talking about it. He was like saying that it shouldn't necessarily take us going to the meetings for them to do these things for our kids or for our kids to have, certain things, certain technology, certain programs, certain softwares for them to go to have, or just fixing up their school. It shouldn't take all that, but it does, because when the administrators talk about it, when the staff members, make these requests and stuff like that to the school board. They don't do these things for our schools, for our children, and them, they get their grass trimmed all the time, they get sawed, put on their school grounds all the time. They get all these things, these little minute things, where our kids need things that are bigger and more important. They need laptops, they need tablets, they need programs. Like my son was supposed to be doing like arts, like magnet arts and stuff like that, and I have yet to hear him tell me about anything that he's done. And I wanted to ask his teacher or like an administrator, like speak to them and be like, well, what is he doing? Because he's supposed to be in the arts program. He's supposed to be, learning painting and stuff, art appreciation, dance, all of those things, music. And he never comes home and speaks about this thing. He only talk, and I go to these meetings, never met any teachers, like even, what was it? Was it band? I don't know if it was like the music instructor. Like I don't know. It's not enough. That's just really what I feel about it. Like what they were giving, what they were saying that they did with the kids is not enough. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, do they get to play with these? Like, is this enough? This is not enough instruments. Like, do the kindergartners come? They don't get to come here. So only this grade gets to, like, why is it like that? No, all the kids, they should be able to have access to these things so that they can discover what they like. Just like I went to high school and, I never took fashion. But that's something that I really wanted to take, where the kids learn how to sew and stuff like that. I never got to do that. And some kids never got to go to cooking class, and that's like, those are essential things that we need to have. And I would love for our children to be able to, have those things again, where they're learning everyday basic skills, learning gardening, learning, like I also said, they need to learn about science and stuff like that, about technology, computer systems, like all that stuff. They need that, and they're not getting it. They're not getting it. And they're never going to get it. Not at the public school. Not at the public school.
Why can't we develop some type of science and math club or something, or science? I know they have it in public school, but just like something just for underprivileged kids, like an after school program that focuses on math and science.
Well, I feel like it takes businesses and people who want to do that to actually create those things, because we know everything requires money, and and even if it doesn't require money from you personally, there's other businesses that need tax incentives, and you can like let them know certain things. Like just like these, I went to this little pizza shop by my house like a couple of months ago, and they had a sign where they were advertising that the school down the street needed a park, and they needed the people in the community to help with the donations so that the kids could have a new park. And lo and behold, my son goes to it, because we live, even though my son goes to school on the opposite side, we live over here where they just got the new park, and my son goes to it, and luckily he's able to enjoy it. But these are the type of things that they do for their community. So they go out and they find the money that they need to get their kids, the things that they need. So we need to replicate certain things that they do just like they do, and go look for the money. Go follow the money. Go to these school meetings and find out what's going on with the school. Like my son's school, there's flooding and stuff like that. I would love to because I think the chairperson at my son's school couldn't make all the meetings, and there's like one meeting left. And I was really, really contemplating on, speaking with the principal and letting her know that I would do it. But my son, I don't plan on enrolling my son back in school there next year. I plan on homeschooling him. So, I don't know how exactly that will work with me doing that and continuing to do that. But they need that. They need that. I mean, they have so many opportunities. Like the school district over here is hiring like crazy in all the counties. Broward, Miami-Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach County, they all need staff members. They need teachers. They need special education assistants and just teacher assistants, all kind of people, maintenance, janitors. They need everybody, lunch ladies, cooks. They need everything. But for some reason, a lot of people don't want to work. Even when I was working, like a lot of people, like it's like they didn't care. They would come to work, and some of these girls, it's like they would, like there was one that she left in the middle of work because her mama came. Her mama was outside and something. Trust me, it wasn't nothing important, but she just left, and she up and left, and it's like, girl, we got to feed these kids. Like, why would you just leave like that? And then you didn't even tell us that you left. We just seen that you said, oh, your mama's outside, and then you go outside and you just never come back. Like, then you come to work, you got your bonnet on your head, like your real bonnet that you went to sleep with last night. You got your bonnet on. You got your lashes on. You're not supposed to have lashes on because we're cooking for kids. Like, it's just so many things. And it seems to me like a lot of young people, a lot of younger people, people in general these days, they don't even want to work. Because even when this COVID thing started happening, they was doing these PPP loans, people was getting these little loans and stuff like that, and they were just not going to work. They wasn't putting up with it. And now, people, the companies have, raised, this minimum wage that they're giving, but people are still not coming to work. They're still not coming to work. And when they come to these schools and they try to teach our kids, a lot of these kids, they're reckless. I'm not even gonna lie. I had to check a fifth grader. This one girl, I had to, excuse me, what'd you say? Say it again. And call your mama too if you want. Because some of these kids, the way that they talk to adults, the way that they look at you, the way that they size you up and down, like they're grown women, some of them is just, I can't even imagine, what their future is going to be like. So, our kids,
how do they get that disrespectful? Like, how in the world?
They learn it from home. Ain't nowhere else. They learn it from home. They learn it from home and the things that's going on at home. If nobody's paying attention to them and they're watching like certain type of things, they're picking it up on YouTube, they're picking it up on TV, that this is the way that life is supposed to be. Like you said, it's a mental programming, and it starts from when they're young. And if they see that this is the way that this person who I'm always with reacts, when they feel this certain type of way, this is the response that they give, or, whatever. This is the look that they give. How you in the fifth grade, girl, and you looking at grown women, grown adults, and you got your lips tooted up and you sizing, like, what is wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with your life? Like, what's wrong with your life?
Right.
Yeah, but this is what they do. Like that girl who she fought a teacher because the teacher took her phone, and the teacher took her ass down, knocked her ass down to the goddamn ground. Just like I was, that's why I was saying, like, Sister Miko is, because I just couldn't be, I can't get away with some of those things. Like, you see how Sister Miko said she just easily told them, like, because you calling her a bitch. That's why she ain't coming. That's why she's doing all this. And how she said to the boyfriend, like, you letting her call your black daughter a bitch. Like me, if I would have said it, I don't know what it is, Tracey. But like I spoke about in that demon video, I don't know what it is about my energy, but when I say certain things, people are just like, what did you say? Excuse me, where's the manager? This is the type of energy. It's like they feel like they have to, like, take me down. Like, it's just the craziest thing. Like, I've experienced a lot working in retail. So me working at a hospital, or me, interacting sometimes with adults, human beings, even these slick mouth kids, I'm sorry. It won't fly with me. You know how some people just let it fly? Baby, it don't fly with me. No, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. You're not going to talk to me like you're crazy. You're not going to put your hands on me. Like, there's girls, there was two girls that broke a teacher's hip, a black woman. They broke her hip. Like, how dare you? That could be your mother, your grandmother, and you broke her hip. You're proud of yourself. Like, you're pure scum. I'm sorry, child or not, you're a scum. Beating up your teacher to the point you broke her hip, a black woman. And not only just her being black, but just you broke her hip over what? Challenge? You wanted to do a challenge? Oh no, baby. If I was a teacher and they tried to do a challenge on me, baby, I would be boxing. I would be boxing in that class. Don't play with me.
And that goes to show you that the parents didn't have much of a life either, because if their kids are already doing that, either they're ignoring the child at home or the child just not in very good circumstances at home. And like I said, I didn't have the best circumstances at home either, but it was nowhere near what these kids are going through. Like I had food to eat. I wasn't beaten to death. You know, I never, like when I was growing up, what I see these kids going through now, when I was growing up, I don't know what it's like to be evicted. I don't know what it's like to go home and not have anything to eat at home. I don't know what it's like not to know one of my parents. Like I knew my mother and my father. And my mother and father were married, but you know, even some of my friends, even if their father wasn't living with them or their parents weren't married, they still knew who their father was. Like I don't know. Like I can't relate to any of that these kids go through. And they got to go through that, and then on top of that, go to school and concentrate and try to learn something. Like some of these parents put these kids in the most impossible situations. Like how can they learn in that kind of environment? How can they focus on learning, and this is the environment in the neighborhood that you throw them in?
Because they need to close their legs. They need to close their legs. That's really what it is. You need to close your legs. And if you're going to have sex, you need to protect yourself. Because they out here having these kids. They don't want them. You see them out here yelling. Like there was this mom, this like a Hispanic lady, you know, she was like yelling at her son, like, and he was only probably like 3 years old. And she, like one of the neighbors was filming her, and she was screaming at him like to the top of her lungs. Get in the fucking
Hold on for a sec. I'm gonna put you on mute.
Just like, get in the fucking car. Shut the fuck up. Just screaming and carrying on. I'm just like, why are you talking to him like that, girl? He's a baby. He didn't do nothing to you. And then you got a black grandma that she killed. How old was that baby? The baby wasn't even one. The baby was like, she was probably like 6 months old or something like that. And she killed her grandbaby. They said fire medicine, whatever that is. She put fire medicine in the baby's mouth. What? Like, what kind of person are you? Like, what kind of demonic person are you? And then when they were talking about, like what she did and the charges that she was facing, you should see this lady's face and how she was looking, as if to say, like, what? Like, first she was looking like, well, why y'all got me here? Y'all need to hurry up. And then she also had a look on her face as if to say, like, you really think I did that? It's like she had, like, it's like almost like she was, like, just, like, emotionless. Like, she had, like, no soul, like, no remorse. There's just, like, you can't even describe the energy that she was, like, giving. But to kill a baby, these people these days are sick. The things that they've been doing to children, I'm telling you, this earth, man, these people, they are going to be wiped out. And there's going to be so much stuff going on. And, yeah, these people are something else. Just everything that's been going on, what they've been doing to these children, the energy of this planet and these people is just crazy. Let me see. Yes. Let me see. I don't know what that thing is she put in the baby's mouth. I was trying to Google it and see, but it said fire medicine. I don't know what that is, but she put that in the baby's mouth. And then was it a man? There was a man. Yeah, it was a white man. I think this was in LA County. Just all these people, just be doing all this stuff. This man threw his baby up against the wall 4 times. Broke her arm, legs, ribs, all of that. And then gonna go in court. Oh, it was just an accident, and I know there was, people will never forgive me, but I accept that. What? That wasn't no goddamn accident. You just accidentally throw your daughter up against a wall, a 2-month-old baby. Who does that? I'm telling you, man, these people who are walking this planet these days, you think they are people, you think they are human beings, but they have no soul. They have no soul, and you can tell just by when you speak to them, like their interest, like who they are, their energy. Just there's something about them that's just not right, you know? Something about them that's just not right. Not right mentally, not right physically. Something ain't right about some of these people that are on this planet. Black, white, like the craziest thing. You know, there was even a man in Lauderdale Lakes the other day who he and his girlfriend went to Walmart. They're going in the store with their newborn baby and the other small children, and they see a lady getting beat up, a Walmart employee getting beat up by this man, and nobody's doing anything. And this man goes to go help the lady. The man starts tussling with him, shoots the man one time. The man's girlfriend runs up with her newborn baby in her hand and says to him, please don't do it. Please, even if it's for the baby, please don't do it. And he just pop, 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 shot him 5 more times. Like, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with people these days that we don't even care, but there's like no value of life. You don't even care about people. You sitting up here, you came to the job to beat up your girlfriend, and now somebody's in there trying to help, trying to stop you from doing something dumb, and you do something even dumber, and you go kill her, kill him. And then you can tell he's a real dumbass. He's a real gem. A dirty gem, a dirty, stinky gem, because you work there. You work there. So you beat up your girlfriend who's your coworker at your job. You dummy. No value of life. Born in 2001. So you ain't even been here 30 years yet. Now you about to spend the rest of your life most likely in prison. Well, goodbye. We don't need, these type of people in our society. We don't need to be feeling bad for them. I know people are like, oh, we don't need jails. We don't need prisons and stuff. No, yes, the hell we do. Shit, we need to bring back the torture system for some of them, too. Cut their fucking balls off when they doing the wrong type of stuff to children. Can't do it to all of them. But, yeah, definitely that would be some stuff. That would be some stuff. And if it turns them on to do these things to kids, then it must turn them on to get their balls chopped off then. That must be something that they might want to they might want to test that, try that and see. How does that feel? How does that feel? Oh God. Yeah, I'm tired of seeing all these terrible things happening on the news. If we could see like all the issues that we're going through, these are things that we could fix. These are issues that we could easily address. We just have to acknowledge that these things are issues within our community and fix it. Fix the problems. Want some strawberries? Want some berries? You said no. Okay. I think you might. Ooh, maybe watermelon? No? No blueberries? Here, let me give you one. Let's see. I think you want some. Uh-oh, you dropped it. Here, let's try one more. Yeah, you want some. You want some blueberries. I'll give you a couple. Just a couple. Here you go. There you go, Mama. Where you going?
I'll be back on in a minute. I'm still talking. They're still running their mouth.
Okay. Come on, go sit down. Let's go sit down. Oh. Yes. Yes. Oh, and the music that these kids are listening to. I wanted to talk about that. Not only the music, the things that the kids are doing on the technology. Man, this weekend my son was like, "Oh, let's do a TikTok, mommy, together." So I don't want to be too out of touch with reality. So I'm like, he's just a little kid. Let me let him do it. So he wanted me to do this little foolishness in the video. Be a part of his little TikTok. So I did it. This boy posted a video. While he's posting it, he's like, how would I describe this? Like he's like twiddling his fingers, like he's waiting with anticipation. And I'm looking at him, like, I asked him, I said, "Why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for it to post." And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, he's expecting to get all this interaction and stuff. After he posts this stuff, that's what he's expecting. And not like 10 minutes later, he's like, "Mommy, nobody likes me on TikTok. Nobody likes me on TikTok, Mommy." And I'm like, "What do you mean nobody likes you on TikTok?" And I already know what he was talking about. I'm like, "Why are you worried about what people didn't like? Oh, even grandma didn't like it, this, that." Like, just these are the type of things that these kids think are important these days. Being liked. That's not what's important. And it's with the phones and the technology that these kids are thinking this stuff. They're seeing us. And just like, I don't remember the lady's name, but she was on here talking about it, how all the moms now, they're doing TikTok with their kids. That's what they're doing. So they like 40-year-old grandmas, and they doing TikToks with their grandkids and stuff like that. Shaking it, dipping it low, doing all kinds of stuff with their grandkids or their daughters on TikTok. I'm not saying don't have fun, but come on. Certain things got to let go. Mm-hmm. Now you eating those. No. It's almost 3 o'clock. Tracey, we'll get back on later. We'll get back on after Brother Neil. Eat early.
Hello.
2 o'clock. Yeah.
What were you saying? Yeah. One of them calls, but like, I need to talk to you for a minute. Really? Gosh.
Go ahead, girl.
No, I'm off the call now, but yeah.
Well, go ahead. I thought you were gonna still be talking, because I don't know. Well, I know Brother Neil's information is always, that's like a whole meal to me.
Well, yeah, I was gonna get off for that for the 3 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be on there listening to that. So I don't know if we're gonna do a conference call after that. Who knows? Who knows? People might not be up and ready to get on that, because I noticed that sometimes when we do conference calls at nighttime, it does a little better.
Yeah, it might have to be later on tonight for that one. Yeah, might have to be later on tonight for that one. But yeah, he talk about stuff that I just never even crossed my mind until you say something. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I need to start thinking like that. Yeah. I'm thinking about this. Did I say this earlier? I don't think I said this earlier. I'm thinking about I just remembered what I was going to say earlier, but I don't know. I think I got myself off track somehow. I didn't say it. Instead of buying a house over here, I'm thinking when the funds are more stable, I should just go buy a house over there. Just straight up over there, just buy a house over there. And don't worry about having property over here. It's just a thought.
Yep, it's a good thought. Explore it. Because
from what I see online, people are like, well, this is not that much, and this is this price and that price. I'm like, why am I wasting my time over here?
Yep. Why, girl? Because if I had it, girl, it would be. All I need is the minimum and a way for me to make funds, And baby, I would be out of here.
If I had a remote job, yes, it would be all over. It would be all over.
My daughter is so thirsty. I'm really thinking about giving up this.
She sounds adorable. She sounds adorable.
Oh, thanks. There you go. Yeah, she haven't been feeling too well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we had food poisoning, girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I really feel like, yeah, like I said, I don't want to eat any meat. But I already introduced my son to, and sometimes, honestly, he doesn't even eat meat sometimes. He's more of a starchy kind of dude. He's only sticks, and he likes starches. I guess it's the sugar content. But they say, I think they say, when you digest starch, it acts like sugar in the body.
Well, yeah, potatoes, bread, corn, pasta.
Yeah, those are the things he likes. Rice, pasta. He doesn't really like.
I heard this. I heard potatoes and corn. You can't count those as vegetables because they're starches. They throw those in starches. They don't count those as vegetables.
I heard that too. Especially about the corn, they were like saying it has no nutritional value and the body doesn't break it down and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he loves especially when he was there. Oh my God, he would tear up some corn.
See, that's what they like is what. Now, see, they don't want to tear no broccoli up like that, not unless you put some cheese on it.
Now, when I got him to eat broccoli before, and he actually liked it, but he's very picky. Like sometimes he'll be like okay, and sometimes he's like no.
How old is he?
He's 6. He just turned 6.
Oh, okay.
I think it's also a texture thing too.
Oh. Yeah, kids are basic with their eating. All kids are like that. You can't just get them no grown up food. They're not gonna eat no smothered pork chops and gravy. They ain't gonna eat stuff like that. So you gotta keep it simple for them. Yeah.
Yeah, like one time I made him some steak and potatoes, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Just try it." And he did eat it. He did eat it, but he's he liked it. He's like, "Oh, mommy, I want steak." Sometimes he's like, "I want steak," but sometimes he's just like, "What is this? I don't want this." And I'm just like, "You had this last time. What do you mean?"
I think with steak, with a child, I would cut the steak up in little like bite-sized strips that they could just pick up and eat.
Yeah.
And maybe put some steak sauce in a little cup they could dip the steak in, and then I had the potatoes. It's presentation too. Like, you gotta know how to present it to them so they'll want to eat it. So yeah.
Yeah. I did mashed potatoes, and I did slice it up for him and stuff. He did eat it, but yeah, like I said, sometimes he's just very picky. Like one time he ate I made Brussels sprouts and he loved them. And when I went to the store, he kept saying, he was like, "Mommy, I want you to get me the circle vegetable." And I was like, I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but I haven't cooked any circle vegetables, like that besides Brussels sprouts at that time. But when I made it that time, I made it with bacon. So when I made it again, he was like, "No, this is not the same one." So I guess it was missing that little smoky taste, and also again the texture. If it's not like how he had it, like he doesn't like his chicken like crispy. Like he wants his, like, "Mommy, my teeth, I can't bite it." So he's a little picky. You just gotta just like honestly, like you said. But no, like I told you, I spoke about this in a live that we were on. There's this girl when we were talking about how people just post anything on YouTube and they watch it versus things that actually help them, mentally and spiritually. There's this girl. She cooks for her children and they eat like grown people. I'm telling you, and they're like, I don't think they're older than like 7. They eat like grown people. I'm talking about she cooked them steak. She cooked them smothered pork chops. She cooked them lobster boils or seafood boils. One time she cooked them steak and lobster. I'm talking about everything. Like she makes some little fancy sandwiches and stuff. My son, you make him a sandwich, you put a piece of lettuce on it, and he's just like, "What is this?"
Oh wow.
Yeah, but them they eat, and if they don't eat it, because she'll show you like, how it looks, the plate looks after, they always try it, So I get my son to do that too. So even if he doesn't eat the whole thing, I tell him you have to eat at least one piece of it, so you can try it and know what it is, and just give it a try. You have to try things. So she does. I guess she does the same thing with her kids, because you'll see like they probably don't eat celery, but they took a bite of one. When the other kid might eat half his celery, where the other one just took one bite. So
yeah. I think kids that age, especially when they're under 10, they need a lot of finger foods. You can make it bite sized. You can make it where they can just pick it up with their hand. That they enjoy doing that too. Yeah.
Girl, not my son. Even chicken nuggets, he's like, "Where's my fork?" I'm telling you, he's just a special child. And if he wants to, like certain things that I give him, I don't know what he was trying to eat with. I think I told him, I was like, "You can eat this with and he was like, "No, I need a fork." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead. Let me go get you a fork."
She's like, "I hear you talking." Oh, come on now.
But my daughter, I'm starting her off a little different, a little younger. Like the other day, she was eating green beans with me. Versus my son, I never offered him vegetables when he was younger. I just assumed that he wouldn't like them because I don't like them. But with my daughter, I just offered them to her, and sometimes she'll eat on them. She won't eat the whole thing. She has eaten like the heads of the broccoli and stuff, but I think just offering it to her now, so that she knows what it is, what it looks like, that she can eat it. That's the start.
Gotta start somewhere. I think by the time they become teenagers, they know what they want. And it's like if they don't eat it, they're not going to eat it. So, yeah. And then you'll notice their palate will change too, because when kids get older, they don't like the same stuff they probably liked when they were a kid. Like me, I remember when I was young, I liked a lot of food. Like, you know how you had like hot dogs and beans and stuff like that. When I got a teenager, you couldn't. I'm like, oh, I'm not eating that. Mm-mm. Certain types of sandwiches I wouldn't eat no more. I wouldn't drink Kool-Aid no more. I remember when I stopped liking Kool-Aid. Oh boy.
Yeah, Kool-Aid is honestly kind of an acquired taste, especially I guess it's a taste like
I consider it now, but not being when I was a child, you know, it's fun, you know, you like it, but as I got older, I'm like, I don't want that. But you're right, it is an acquired taste. Well, for me now, it is. It is now. Like I wouldn't drink it now; it's too sweet to me now. Mm-mm.
Versus that. Like fresh juice, like when I make my own juices, it's just like, whoa. Like why am I drinking?
And that's probably why.
Mhm.
That's probably why I'm so used to drinking real juice that I can't do the others anymore. And you could tell that it's like fake. You could taste the you know, that it's artificial. You could kind of taste it now, but when you were younger, that's all I had really. You know, you don't have too much of a wide palate when you're younger. You just used to eating basic stuff over and over again. So I remember certain fruits and vegetables I didn't eat until I got an adult, like asparagus. I didn't eat asparagus growing up.
I didn't eat asparagus when I was younger either. I ate it when I was an adult. And also, I think it's you know, what our parents introduced to us.
Well, yeah, that's 90% of it. Right. Well, when you're growing up, that's 90% of it right there because you're only going to be exposed to what they know. Like I knew this guy. I went to high school with this guy, and none of them liked vegetables because his mother didn't like vegetables. Like when she would cook dinner, she would just fry some chicken, and that'll be their dinner. Like she wouldn't have no sides or anything with it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I'm like, how you just have fried chicken and nothing else? Oh gosh. But that's how they ate. They didn't like anything else. They didn't want any sides. They didn't like vegetables or anything. So.
No, I mean at least something. Mashed potatoes, something. No, at least.
That's how some people eat. Some people just don't like vegetables at all. No type of vegetable. I'm like, how do you not like greens? How do you not like greens? Come on now.
Mhm.
But yeah, but I think as he gets older, he'll start liking more stuff. That's just for now. And he's only 6 anyway, so he's not gonna have
he loves mac and cheese. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to give him the cheese alternative, and I made it the other day, and it turned out just like regular mac and cheese.
Oh, that's good.
You have to heat it up and stuff, but it's not really natural. You know, it has all those ingredients, you know, for them to make it. But like I said, you know, I don't want to deprive him of certain things. You know, I try to let him know what is good, and certain things he's already exposed to, you know, I give it to him with reason. So.
Mhm. Yeah, I know some people like, my child don't like this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, you know, they still real young. They're not, you know. They're just not. Kids don't like us. They're not. They like what they like.
Oh my God! Like when I was younger, as a kid, like some of the things that I would eat, like as a teenager. Oh my God! Me and my cousins, we would go to the store. We'll get candy. We'll get a chocolate. Then we'll get something fruity and sweet. We'll get a bag of chips. And I would always get a Mountain Dew. Oh, my God. We used to eat so horrible. So horrible.
Mountain Dew. Wow.
Did you used to have that? Because you're around my age. Did you guys have the, like in your area, did you guys have, like, it was this, it was like a candy, but it was called Squeeze. And it was like in a plastic, almost kind of like a toothpaste bottle, but the top of it was like round. It was like round.
Oh,
almost.
was it like a syrup or something?
Yes. Did you have that?
Oh yes, I remember that. I remember that like junior high school years. I remember that.
Yes.
And looking at that now, like how in the world would you? Oh my gosh, how did you eat that? How did somebody? I could look at that now and get diabetes. Oh my goodness.
I saw one in the store, like the Dollar Tree. It was like a different kind of version of it, and I was like, oh my God.
It probably don't taste the same.
I was like, it looks like the Squeeze that we used to drink. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's like nothing but corn syrup, and like we just used to like gulp it down.
And food coloring.
Yes.
Corn syrup, food coloring, and whatever flavoring that was on the thing. That was it. 3 ingredients: corn syrup, food coloring, and whatever flavor they put it.
Oh my goodness. And whatever else to make it stay fresh, to preserve it.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God. The things we used to eat. Oh my goodness.
The colored drinks we used to eat. The sugary colored drinks. Yes. Love those.
Oh yeah. You know what I used to always get that I have yet to get these for my son, but I've thought about it. But I was like, you know what? I mean, I know it's not going to harm them, but I just give them different options. But the little hug juices, you know, those little.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we used to have those all the time at a little corner store. Like somebody would have a storehouse in the neighborhood, and they would have all the little juices. They would have like a thing to do like icy cups, or like some people call them like dillies or whatever. All people call them all kind of different things, and they would have hot sausage, pickle legs, chips, just all this kind of stuff, and that's every summer. You know, we just be outside. It was them hot days. Oh, we're going to the storehouse. You know, we done collected our little dollar bills. We going to the storehouse. We're getting all this stuff for 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. Oh my God.
Yeah, those were our prices. And I don't know if they had this in your region, but I used to love to get when the ice cream truck came, and I would get this every once in a while. I would get this. It was like ice. It was the shape of a cone, and there was ice cream on top, and you had a piece of bubble gum down at the tip at the bottom of it.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what those are called, but I used to get that. Those were so good. I know they don't make them no more because I'm talking about the late 80s, early 90s. So I know they don't make those no more. So yeah.
You talking about the one with it had like the white, it was either a white paper cup or sometimes it was like orange.
Something, but it always had the piece of bubble gum when you got to the end of it. It had the bubble gum at the bottom. Yeah.
It's like a sherbet kind of ice cream, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I
know
used
exactly
to
what you're talking about.
I used to tear those up. Yes, I forgot what they were called, but I used to get those because I'm like, I'm going to get my bubble gum at the bottom.
Oh, my God. Yep. We used to eat
get the Mickey Mouse. I used to get the Mickey Mouse ice cream too. I love to get the because his ears would be chocolate. Remember, his ears would be chocolate, covered in chocolate, and then the rest would be like a chocolate or vanilla ice cream, depending on which one you got.
Yes.
They don't even make Mickey Mouse ice cream. I used to look for them. I'm like, they don't even make the Mickey Mouse ice cream bar no more. Man. What else I used to get? I'm trying to think. They still make the Good Humor strawberry shortcake. They still make those. So I used to get those too. They still make those.
That's my favorite. That and butter pecan ice cream.
Yeah, the Good Humor. Yeah, they still make those. Yeah, because I see them in the frozen. I don't buy them no more, but yeah, they still make those.
Yeah, I love those.
They used to make the Jello pudding pops too. I don't know if they still make those either. And I think they still make the Flintstone ice cream. The orange sherbet Flintstone. I haven't seen those. I don't know if they still make those either.
I don't remember that one, the Flintstone one. Did it have like gum on top of it? It was gum on top of it, right?
Well, no, it was a tube. You know, you push it up with a little plastic stick. It's a tube. It's like a toilet paper tube, but it was, you know, push-ups. They call them push-ups.
Mhm.
They call them push-ups, but I like the Flintstone, the sherbet one. I'm trying to think what else, because the stuff we had, these kids don't know nothing about no snacks, no after-school snacks, because our snacks was like, our snacks was on point. They weren't healthy, but they were on point. Remember when fruit roll-ups first came? Remember when we had our fruit roll-ups back in the day? Ours used to be bigger, though. They got these fruit roll-ups now. These little bitty fruit roll-ups. I'm like, our fruit roll-ups were bigger than this. I used to buy them for my nieces and nephews. I'm looking at them like, and they don't even taste the same. Yeah, all that unhealthy food. Half that stuff, over half the stuff I'm naming, I can't eat right now. I will have stomach problems. Especially when it comes to all that sugar and the fruit snacks and stuff. It's candy now. It was candy then, but it's definitely candy now.
Yeah, and I gotta control the sugar too, especially with my son, because he loves sweets like I do. But sweets affect our immune system and stuff like that. So I gotta be careful with that.
And sugar also feeds cancer. Yep. Cancer loves sugar.
Fibroids. Oh God.